Good morning, or afternoon, might be evening too. My smiler for the day. How does a sheep say Merry Christmas? Answer, Feliz Navidad. Bad. As I grow older, this is from God's Little Instruction Book. As I grow older, I pay less attention to what people say. I watch what they do. James 2:18 says, "Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith by what I do." Faith and works. God, people have argued that forever. My view is pretty simple. If you can't say what you're doing for God, if you can't say what you're doing, why talk? Okay. Proverbs 21:13 says this. If a man shuts his ears to the cry of the poor, he too will cry out and not be answered. Modern scandal is the excuse that people give for disregarding the poor, or the forgotten, or the neglected. You hear phrases like, if only they would pull themselves up by their bootstraps, all would be well. Well, if only they weren't so lazy, all would be well. Our Christian tradition makes a very solid point that our Master tells us that there will always be poor. Or to say it to you another way, the poor will never vanish from the land. It's the nature of the beast. Some people are stronger than others. Some are more physically adept than others. Others are smarter than others. Some are better physically endowed than others. One cannot point a finger at individuals who may not be on top of the endowment scale and act as if they don't exist. That's just silly. If there's one poor person in the world, then every one of us besides that one has an obligation to care for that person and to include him in family that is humankind. Our tradition tells us that not only to provide for the less fortunate, but also to try to create situations for that person so that he or she may become productive members of society. Maimonides, the famous rabbi, was the first one that said this outside the Bible. I would suggest that we teach our children quite early Maimonides' 8 stages of tzedakah, righteousness, or righteous living, if you will. In my youth, my father ingrained in me a principle of giving without public acknowledgement. He said, you don't give or share because of the accolades you might receive, but rather by letting your heart be your guide and responding to whatever you see around you in need of universal repair. You and I are called to be about the business of taking care of those who have less and are less fortunate than the rest of us. Let us be at prayer. Oh God, we ask that you give us grace this day. We're solidly in the middle of Advent now, marching toward Christmas. Help us to understand that the extra toys or the extra food or the extra drink, the extra effort that we make toward the other is what we're supposed to do. And it really is the only Christmas presents that really have meaning. Oh Lord, help us. Fill us and in so doing, redeem us. Amen. I would like to ask that you go and do something good today, and then do something good tomorrow. Go with God.